make a lot of eye contact?
I try not to.
You try not to make a lot of eye contact during sex.
It means something when you make eye
Like
In each other's guts, like
not each other.
Yeah, welcome to another episode of the How to Get Here podcast, the podcast for positivity, progression, and finding your own path. It's Mr. Brown, Broke, and Guapo. Wait, I said a word earlier.
Expeditiously?
No, it was about me, and I was like, oh, that would be a dope way.
It started with the G.
oh, wasn't it like the greatest?
The goodest or some shit like
Nah, fuck, I fucked this. Yo, welcome to another episode of the dopest podcast on the earth. It's your co-host, Mr. Brown Broken Needs a Haircut. I'm here to take over, take your girl, and rule the world. What up?
Yo, it's hard to follow those. I'm not gonna lie. It's your boy Spence, King Aquarius, Mr. 20%. Yeah, we here. It's Tuesday. We here at the Calf at what's the address?
129.
129 Trumbull Street.
329. I don't know.
Isn't it 231?
Yes, 231.
We on Trumbull Street. We gonna represent the Calf better moving forward. But yeah, happy Tuesday. It's been an interesting start to the week.
Why?
I've just been doing a lot of reflecting lately.
That's good.
And actually the reflection leads to my question. So my question of
Can I dive into something before you dive into your
that's
question?
crazy. Well, you just gonna cut off all my momentum,
Yeah.
the inertia.
Well, yeah. So we asked our followers a question. The question was if your ex was a food or a dish, which one would they be? And I just wanted to read these because some of them are funny. And, you know, followers, we want to engage with y'all. So we're going to be posting a lot of stuff in the near future. And, let us know what y'all think. And be real. So my first person said, my ex reminds me of pig intestines. That's wild disrespectful. I don't know. I'm sorry. Do you like pig intestines? Like, what do you?
He said my ex remind me of chitlins. You think that's a man or a woman?
Well, I know it's a man.
Oh, you know who it is?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
I'm just not saying who it is.
That's crazy.
Do you like chitlins?
That's a reflection on your character, bro.
Why?
Because, like, if they remind you of chitlins, how long were you with chitlins?
That's wild. All right, on to the next one. My ex reminds me of circus peanuts. Like, you throw them on the ground?
Salty and tasty?
Interesting. Wow.
Only for excitement? Like, I don't know. Wait, say it again?
Cheap and edible.
Cheap and edible. Okay. This one, my ex reminds me of Taco Bell. Good at first, then it's shit. And it gives you the shits. No?
That's fucked up.
You know what?
That was a little hurtful.
It is what it is. This one said a beautiful plate of fried chicken with no seasoning at all. Who made the chicken?
With no seasoning? Can you imagine going to KFC or Popeyes, biting into like a great piece of, like, it looks like a perfectly piece of fried chicken. You bite into it, it's juicy, but it has no seasoning. I'd be livid.
You had high hopes and that bowl let you down.
Yeah. It's like
Okay.
judging a book by its cover.
Yo, this last one, my ex reminds me of a burnt Hot Pocket.
How you burn a Hot Pocket? That's you forgetful as fuck. It's only like 2.5 minutes.
Well, I guess, yeah, but Hot Pockets aren't even that good in quality anyways. I ate so many Hot Pockets my freshman year in college that I didn't even want them anymore. I can't eat a Hot Pocket now. The ham and cheese joints, can't do it.
Well, those are the basic Hot Pockets. They got.
But I
They
guess
got
what they're
lean
saying
pockets.
is Hot Pockets are just so accessible that I don't want your ass. So, hey, guys, thank you for...
I need more interpretation with these. Yeah, next time y'all answer, we appreciate the answers. I need more depth. I don't know what the fuck we talking about.
It's just kind of funny to see that's what people think of their exes. But on to your question, brother man.
Chitlins. Got it. Okay. Okay, yeah, so interesting start to the week. Been really reflective lately.
Okay.
because I'm trying to just get my head back on straight because I'm a little out of it lately. So my question of the day is, what are you passionate about?
I am passionate. The first thing that comes to mind is giving to others. And I line up passion with my purpose. And I think that a lot of the things that I do is giving to others. Like, you know, being like a giver.
Philanthropic. You like philanthropy?
Sure.
That's funny because that's literally mine. So I like being part of other people's journey and watching them win. I think that's the greatest satisfaction like a coach or a leader can get. I'm watching The Last Dance again with Michael Jordan.
Okay.
And I don't think Phil Jackson, probably until this documentary, got enough appreciation for what he did and also the passion behind how he did it. Like, it has to be extremely gratifying to just have a team gel together with all those different types of personalities and compete at extremely high level. And
on the flip side, I agree with what you're saying, but on the flip side, part of being a coach is like, it almost probably strokes his ego a little bit to be like, okay, here's my challenge. How can I get this group of 12 individuals to come together, buy into my philosophies, and make this shit work? You know what I mean? So it could be a challenge and like a stroke to him because it's like, yeah, you guys are on the court, but without me, y'all couldn't do that shit.
See, and that's, I guess that's a big debate because like you also have Michael Jordan, right? So like, was this going to happen anyways, or did you need...
How many championships Michael Jordan won without Scottie Pippen?
What does it have to do with Phil Jackson though?
Because Michael Jordan needed other people.
Agreed. So you're saying it's a stroke to his ego being able to coach Mike?
As a coach, right?
Yeah.
Like, yes, it's about the players, but when I see them like play well or do something that I drew up, it's like, oh, I do know what I'm talking about. Oh, it's like, I did that shit. That's my work through somebody else. You get what I'm saying? Like, yes, that might be a little egotistical, but on the same token, it's like, nah, that's my knowledge being put into other people and them putting it out.
Yeah, that's got to be satisfying to watch. And it also brings me to Coach Carter. So, like, have y'all seen... When's the last time you seen Coach Carter?
No, I've seen it a bunch.
So it's like the funny part where they start winning some games and then they start
showboating.
Taunting. Yeah. So then he's called a bunch of plays. Yeah, I did that shit. You saw that? Whoo, I wrote the hell out of that play. It's interesting because I definitely talk some shit too when I compete. So it's like, where do you get that? Where do you get the hype other than having like the genuine passion and love for the game and that being enough? Yeah, I think it's interesting. Just going into the new year, I've like, even in regards to like my busy schedule, I'm committing to myself that I'm gonna start my days doing things that I enjoy. So
I like that.
Even if I like started my day and I like worked on the podcast for an hour, like I'm doing something I enjoy first.
Something for you.
Yes.
Yeah.
And everything else is going to be intentional around that afterwards.
So something you said sparked a thought in my mind. You're like, being a part of people's journeys, right? I try to be a good person, one, because it's the right thing to do, but I don't know if my interaction with you is going to be a one-time thing, a multiple-time thing for a couple months, then cut short, whatever. So I want my interaction with you to just be memorable, because at the end of the day, I hope that you can take something positive from this interaction. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But on the flip side of that, I've had to also learn the art of detachment. Because with that, it's like, you never know when what's the word I'm looking for? An encounter is when it's gonna run its course. You know what I mean? Sometimes people are just there for a season, multiple seasons, couple weeks, whatever the case is. So you have to master detachment, because if it's not, you get attached to things. You get attached to jobs. You get attached to people, relationships, eating at certain restaurants. You get attached to things, right? And if you cannot detach yourself from those things, you're never really going to grow. You get what I'm saying? So maybe some of those, hey, I was just supposed to be part of this journey in your life for this period, and where you're more attached to me or I'm more attached to you, I now have to detach to grow and move on.
Yeah, I I think coming from someone who, that's really easy for me. Like, it's harder for me to get attached than detach. You know what I'm saying? I don't think it's awe. Like, I love me. But you also, yeah, I think people get attached to comfort, things that make them feel good, like in the short term, and they don't get attached enough to the final outcome. Like, get attached to the journey, and appreciate the final outcome, regardless what it is. Because whatever plan you have set in place, it's probably not going to be what happens. But you said something, and to play devil's advocate, is it always, because you said being a good person is the right thing to do.
Mm-hmm. Is
that necessarily true in all cases? Is being a good person always the right thing to do?
Yes, until being a good person is no longer the main option.
It's never the main. I mean, it doesn't ever have to be the main option.
No. Yes, until you've now pushed me to no longer be a good person, right? Because, right, and maybe this ties into the topic today of, like kind of being selfish versus selfless, right? Mm. My thing is, even if you are being a bad person or doing bad things, I don't have to react to that. I don't have to feed into it. You get what I'm saying? So no, I don't have to be a bad person. I could just be neutral. I can kind of just sit there and, I'm going to sit this one out. You get what I'm saying? But that doesn't make me a good person or a bad person. I could try to help you, which would make me a good person, right? Mm-hmm. But the second you disturb my peace, disrespect me or my people, okay, now I don't need to be good anymore. Now I could still remain neutral, or I could feed in and be an asshole. You get what I'm saying? But like, I don't always have to revert to being an asshole. I could just be neutral and be like, all right, whatever. I don't know if that answers your question.
You just said being a good person is the right thing to do. And I don't know why. It just like, I don't know if that's always the case. Like being, and I don't really know.
So then give me an instance when being a good person is not the right thing to do.
Like when being the bad guy, quote unquote, in someone's story. Because by being you got to think every protagonist needs an antagonist.
Yo, what's an antonym?
That's the opposite of a synonym. So you got to think like, would Batman be as great without the Joker? Would Superman be as great without kryptonite and people trying to kill him? Because actually, if none of that was happening, Superman would be a regular person. Like, Batman would serve no purpose if there was no Joker or bad guys.
So we need bad guys in our story, is what you're saying.
I don't know. I just don't think that necessarily being a good person is the right thing to do. Or I think there's just overall life balance. But points were definitely.
So is selfishness is being selfish a bad thing? Let me start there.
Being selfish? I think everyone should be selfish with themselves.
Fully or to a certain extent?
I think however you see fit based on what you're looking to accomplish. I think if people don't put themselves first in their journey, like, you'll never end up on top. Like, how could you ever win if you don't put yourself first? Like, if you don't work on yourself being the best version of yourself, how could you possibly expect to win? Unless you're a great coach. But I feel like in order to be a great coach, like, you have to be the best version of yourself to the nth degree. So I think in that aspect, you need to be selfish.
So can you, and I have a thought in my head, but I'm trying to think of the right way to articulate it. Can you involve people in your life and set up parameters, right? So being selfish with yourself, is that fair to those people?
Fair or not, you have the option if you want to be in my life.
Okay.
Like I don't know. I don't really think of things as like fair. It kind of just is what it is, you know. Like
Right, but things also don't have to always be what they are.
you gotta explain that.
So you and I, like, we're best friends, right? We see each other 4 days a week, right? And in those 4 days, we drink. So the next day I might slack off in the gym, right? So now you start to say, like, all right, Jacob, I only want to now see you 2 days a week because I don't like drinking every time I see you and yada, 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 whatever. I'm slacking off in the gym.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So now you've set up those parameters. You've set up those boundaries.
Yeah.
Right now I say, well, bro, I still want to see you. Maybe we just don't have to drink. Right? And you're like, no, spending 4 days with you is not good for me. You get what I'm saying? I just gave you an alternative of, you know what, I could still see you, but we don't have to do X, Y, Z. And you're like, no. So now you're being selfish and setting up those boundaries, right? Is that a bad thing? You see how I'm saying it doesn't have to be that way because I gave you an alternative? I don't know if I'm reaching.
Yeah. Like the alternative.
It basically, being selfish, like, your life always has to, like, you always have to come first. You get what I'm saying? And that's where, like, as opposed to being selfish, you could be selfless. Like, nah, I could still do this with Jacob, but it takes away from you.
Facts.
Right. And that's where it's like, where it's better to, you know, always protect your peace. And then at what point do you let people in? You get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah. I mean, I'd like to think I am the hero in my own story. I like to think I'm the architect, but it's impossible. And yeah, I don't know, things like that. Like, I don't really question, like, hey, if I need to take 6 months to a year and just work on myself and we can kick it after that, it kind of just is what it is. And we can still stay in contact. Like, we can still talk on the phone. We can still catch up for a quick drink. We could go to the gym together. Like, maybe that's a cool compromise. But I feel like once you set parameters and a structure and a rhythm to your own life, it's important that you stick to it, because once you start veering away from it, then you start feeling differently about yourself. And then when you really start to unpack it, you start resenting the person who is now keeping you back from your goals because you didn't have the confidence or the boldness to say, hey, listen, I need to separate myself because what I'm doing is too important to fuck off right now.
See, but you also can't be upset when people, if you're selfish with your time, right, and I decide to act accordingly, you cannot be upset with that.
No, not at all. But
Right.
It's like, if you don't appreciate what I'm doing and what I'm looking to accomplish, then, like, all right, there's a lot of other people in this world.
Right, and you also don't get to have your cake and eat it too and have access to me whenever you want.
Are we talking about friendships or like
friendships, relationship? No, I'm just in general. Because some friends will turn around and be like, oh, you've been a shitty friend because you haven't been showing up for you. Well, you haven't been here for X, Y, Z, so why should I continue? You get what I'm saying?
Do people hold each other like you've been a shitty friend because you haven't been through my worst times because you've been busy with X, Y,
people,
Z?
Yeah, people really function like that. And you know,
What'd you say?
Accountability in friendships and relationships.
But it's like, if we're friends, we decided, we got a clear bond that we want to have for the rest of our life. Like, we're not dating, we're not having sexual intercourse with each other.
Right, but it's you weren't there, and like where expectations lead to being selfishness. I'm now being selfish because it's like I forget that you had this whole life, right? Because everything revolves around me.
But what was I not there for? For like catching up and getting drinks 4 days a week?
It could be I went through a breakup. It could be I needed, I lost a roommate, so now I need to find this. I could be going through whatever. People go through shit all the time.
But you got other friends.
You're my best friend.
okay. So as
Was it explained though? Like, did you like express that you needed that support at that time? Because I think where the accountability ends up falling through the cracks in some friendships, and I've gone through this multiple times myself with friendships, but it's like some people feel like what they're doing is what you need, and sometimes that's not always what you need. But then you, as the person who needs that support from the friend, also need to make sure like you're holding yourself accountable by vocalizing like, hey, like this used to be what was helpful for me in the past, but like with things changing and my life changing, I don't need that anymore. Like I need this.
like, yeah, I don't know. Like, not a lot of people have that type of dialogue. Like, if somebody hit me, regardless what I'm doing, if somebody hit me like, yo, I just need an hour to like chop it up with you. Like, I got a lot of shit going. I would love to talk. I'm gonna find time for us to talk. Like, one of my boys hit me up, and we used to live together like years ago. So like, you know, his daughter, his dog, like these were all first for all of us, right? And he just reached out to me. He's like, yo, listen, my dog's passing away. I was like, oh shit, like I felt some type because I love your dog. Like we all raised this dog together. Yeah, I haven't seen you in a couple years.
Right. Yeah.
But it's like, yeah, that's still like that camaraderie there. So it's like, yeah, you know, I'm gonna find, you can always find time, but I don't have time to waste time. And if we're just yeah, because if we're just like bullshitting, bro, let's bullshit at the end. Like, let's bullshit at the finish line. Like, and I'm not near my finish line. And you may have passed yours, but if that's the case, you got to let me pass mine.
Right.
I don't know. We're all adults. Like, I do hear, and from my experience, it's from women. I do hear dun, dun, dun,
Surprise.
that like a lot of times women will hold it against their female friends when they don't show up for things and they're not like present for certain firsts that's happening in their lives, and they live states apart. But it's like, yo, listen, like I have my own life and my own situation, whether it's financially or whatever's happening. It's like I can't always be there. Obviously, you should know as my friend, if I could, I would definitely be there. But
They're
like,
not secure in that friendship.
yeah, and my thing is like, have some other friends. Like you should know I'm the friend who's like, I'm not gonna go out with you every weekend. It's just not fun for me anymore. But like,
when he does,
yeah, it's
hide your kids, hide your wives. Big
Buckle
Daddy
up.
came out.
So yeah, I don't want to call it childish. I just think, yeah, Ash hit the nail on the head. It's like insecurity in friendships. I don't got time for that. Like I don't think I could be friends with someone who's insecure in our friendship because, you know, I talk a lot of shit. It's like my term of endearment.
Yeah. What is that saying? If I talk shit about you, that's how you know I care about you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But then there's also like, gotta know your boundaries. You know?
Yeah. I also would love to live in a world around people who understand, like, regardless what I say in a certain moment, there could just be a comedic value that we're never going to get again because we're in this moment. And I'm saying it to lighten the mood. If you go far left, like, just know I didn't mean it that way, but, like, I'm never going to get this opportunity again. Like, you know?
I'm screaming, not you being an opportunist to ragtag them.
It's like,
I'm a ragtag whenever I can.
it's about that. Like, yeah, sometimes, you know, but it's because I love you. I'll also pick you back up.
I'll just make fun of somebody else.
What a gentleman.
Yeah, right?
So is being selfish and setting boundaries, are those the same things, different things? Do they have similarities and differences?
I
think you can be selfish by setting boundaries. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But in that sense, right? I don't want to tell you, but
Bro, you too, though.
my bad. I got a dog.
Do you?
No.
Oh, I was like, since when?
But by being selfish, right? You could be protecting your peace. Booger.
Nah, old boy is staring right at me.
Oh, he looked like Lucas from Stranger Things.
Yo, old boy in the green, Brian. Yo, Brian be looking too
He's
far.
looking out the window, bro. Brian.
That's the poster.
On the nah.
Now, once he said in the green, I was like, this nigga's not dead ass. Focus on the topic at hand.
So by being selfish, right?
Mm-hmm.
By setting up boundaries, you are protecting your peace, protecting your mental, protecting your spiritual, right? And that's okay to be selfish in that sense if something is disturbing those things.
Is it selfish though? Is creating boundaries selfish? I think that's pretty much what you asked prior. Like, I don't. Is it selfish?
Yeah, because you're denying access to you.
So, not everybody gets the same access. Respectfully, all my friends know that.
Agreed. Agreed.
So, that's not selfish. That's me preserving myself.
Preservationing
myself.
Word of the day, ladies and gentlemen.
Myself. Slab of meat.
Slapping meat?
A slab
of meat.
Is that back to the big niggas having sex conversation?
Slapping meat.
No.
That's what I'm calling from now on. Sorry, I didn't answer the phone. I was slapping meat.
Okay.
Oh my word.
I don't like to think of it as selfish. Like creating boundaries. If someone thinks that's selfish of me, I think they just have insecurities in this relationship because you don't need access to me all the time.
It could even be at work though.
Bro, nobody needs access to you all the time unless you're my newborn. Like nobody needs access to you all the time. Like I don't think that's healthy.
I agree.
But it's like when you get married, this might be off topic, but it's like getting married, you no longer just like have your own life. Like this person has access to me all the fucking time.
Yes, because you're responsible
look at the
now
anxiety.
Feelings.
No, I'm not. Sorry.
In
a marriage, I'm responsible for your feelings.
When you become committed in a serious relationship or marriage, you have actively accepted the responsibility now of being responsible of your feelings and that other person's feelings.
Is that in the paperwork? Is that in
Bro, why
does it have to be in legal documentation? That is societal rule.
Bruh.
So you telling me you gonna marry Shorty and just don't give a fuck about her feelings?
Bro, but why is it my responsibility?
Bro,
you are doubting your life. Like this is your lifetime commitment to that person.
So your feelings are my responsibility. I know you want to ask this.
When you
if you were married.
agree to get married, you are no longer your selfishness goes out the window.
Yeah. It's
now
selfless.
look at him malfunctioning. That's fucking
right,
insane.
He's
He's broken. Now obviously you have to take care of yourself and be happy and yada yada yada, healthy and all that shit. But it's like when you have a kid, you are no longer your main priority.
Okay, that is different from just getting married.
No, because when you get married, right? I assume you guys now live together. You guys now share bank accounts. You guys, sorry, you guys are now Juan, right?
Juan, yeah.
Juan, right? Juan. So now it's now that we are Juan, right? It's this is a us thing. So I can't just leave out the house and not tell you where I'm going. I can't just disappear for 3 days.
Your feelings are my responsibility.
Part of being married is making that person happy. Now,
y'all keep making statements around it.
Yes,
and
no.
I'm
gonna answer.
Okay.
Their feelings are not solely your responsibility. They have to contribute to their feelings as well, right?
Yep.
But you can't be married to this woman, right, and neglecting their feelings. Part of marrying someone is how they attending to how they feel.
Neglecting and a response, bro, I'm malfunctioning. I can't wrap my head around just because I'm married, I'm responsible for how you feel.
So hold on. Your wife
can you give me a scenario? Yeah.
Your husband or wife has a bad day.
Yes.
Right? Comes in from work. This Mr. Ba did this today, yada, 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 yada. Right?
Mm-hmm.
What's your response?
Let's sit and talk about it. Okay. What's up? Like, you can vent to me. It's not
And
my
then,
responsibility.
and then you're not gonna try to make them feel better.
Of course. But that's not my responsibility. This is me giving you love and affection as a human being. Not my responsibility. I'm not entitled to fucking do that. Like, I don't have to do that.
I hope you don't get married, bro.
What do you mean? That's not a requirement. My requirement is not to be. I can be mindful, but I'm not responsible for your feelings. Like, your feelings are your feelings, and I may not always agree with them. Will I work through them with you? Will I listen? Can you vent? Yeah, for sure.
But do you not think it's your job to try and make them feel better?
No, it's not my job, but I will do it because I love you, but it's not my job at all.
Interesting.
I need to ask the people.
I feel like this has to be a people sector question now, because I feel like we are literally kind of like talking about the same thing. It's just like you're saying it in a way that makes sense to you, and like we're both saying it in the way that makes sense to us and everybody else in the world.
Can we?
Because Spencer's like part of that 1% that's like
Fuck people.
it's not adding up. A plus B equals C, and it's not equal to C. It's equal to Z.
So ask the question. We're going to ask the people.
My question for the people, right? Is it anyone's responsibility in a marriage for how the other person feels? Because I think that's bullshit. Bro, like, if I'm having a bad day, if I had a bad day, and
make sure you write that down, because
if I had a bad day and it had nothing to do with you, I fully appreciate you trying to cheer me up and like make my day better. Is that your job or your responsibility? Not at all.
it's not your job, but I feel like as a partner, right? Because at the end of the day, you're going to feel how you feel, right? It is your responsibility to, how can I help make you feel better? Maybe there's nothing you can do. Maybe you just want to be left the fuck alone, right? So then it's like, all right, cool. I just got to sit back and chill. Like, as in a marriage, it is your job to figure out how to coincide together. If I know that my wife, right, hates when there's dishes in the sink, and she comes home after me, right, and there's dishes left over because we cooked breakfast, yada yada yada, whatever, then oh shit, I'm here before her. I could clean these dishes just to make sure she's not upset. You get what I'm saying?
I think
he did the hot breath thing.
like, I think that's where resentment and negative feelings will tend to foster and fester in a relationship, because
Stop breathing in my ear like that.
You were moaning and slurping the mic in my ear earlier.
That's crazy. I would never.
It's
Can we
on.
talk about what happened?
Sorry.
I was whispering.
Okay, my bad. Behind the scenes,
My mom watches this.
Let's keep in-house.
She know you grown. Okay.
Anyway, resentment.
Yeah, so that's where resentment begins to fester, because why are you cleaning the dishes because it's going to make your wife feel good? Clean the dishes because you should clean your fucking house.
Because it's the right thing to do, like I said earlier.
But clean it because it needs to be clean, because having a nice, like, area to live in is a beautiful thing amongst two people. Yeah, it's cool. I'm not cleaning the dishes because it's going to make my wife feel good. I'm cleaning the dishes because they need to be cleaned.
And in addition to it, it'd make your wife feel good.
Yeah, cool. Like, I know that's going to be brownie points as well, but also it's like, yeah, I did that for me. Like, if I didn't leave them there, now you're going to look at me crazy?
Yeah.
Nah, that's wild. Like, because these are your dishes too. How about that?
Okay, so there goes selfishness being selflessness. You're only doing it for you, whether it's like, I'm doing it for you.
I'm doing it for the greater good. You just happen to be a part of it as well.
Not your utilitarianism, then.
What?
Utilitarianism. The greater good for the greater number.
Okay.
I think he likes that.
Yeah, I like that. I like that
Shout
sound.
out to my AP Euro teacher in high school.
Dope. Yeah, I learned 2 new words today.
What was the other one? Antonym.
Antonym.
So you just said it, like it could lead to resentment. What other things can selfishness lead to?
What?
Can selfishness lead to what's the word I'm looking for? Like when you're by yourself, like there's another way to say alone. Like can selfishness, I guess, lead,
like going into a cave.
yeah.
I know what you're talking about. I can't
Like
think of
needing like some alone time, or
Nah, like
solitude?
could selfishness lead to you then being like a loner, being by yourself?
Oh, like if you're always wanting your own like space and peace away from someone or something or just
Right.
the world.
Right, right.
Oh, I guess you can also say that like can introvertedness. Like if you're
Are
too
introverts selfish? Is that what you just asked?
you could probably ask that question.
That's a are introverts selfish? I think
And are extroverts selfless?
no, I think they're both selfish because introverts are powered by alone time and being reflective and whatnot. Extroverts are powered by being around people, right? There's studies that show that the type of people we thrive when we're together in like tribes and shit like that. But I mean, there's also people who thrive being by themselves. But they also know that they're going to learn from everyone, but maybe they need to unpack it alone. Whereas other people might want to unpack it in a group setting. Like, oh, let's all talk about this. Like, let me think about it first, gather my thoughts, and then I can bring it to the table.
It makes me think of the thought like no one can be selfish 100% of the time, and no one can be selfless 100% of the time.
No, I think you should be selfish with yourself so you can be selfless in like your mission. Like, I said that wrong. But
Yeah, because
like, I don't know. I feel like me being selfish and working on myself is going to lead to selflessness in the future because now I'm going to be in a position to be philanthropic, to help people in need, to, you know, do things that are going to benefit people in a major way. Although I could do things now like in a smaller scale. It's just if I get to where I want to go, it's like everybody eats. But if nobody's eating right now, like somebody need to be selfish and like help. You know what I'm saying?
I think your thought about like the introvert versus extrovert thing made me think, right? Because like the other day, this was a couple weeks ago, I was just having like a bad day at work, right? It wasn't even a bad day. I was just having a bad day, and I happened to be at work.
Okay.
Right. And everybody was like, "Oh, your energy's off. Your energy's off." Right. And it's like, I didn't really realize how much people relied on my energy until that day, because they were like, "Oh, you're in a bad mood. Your energy's off. So now our energy's off." And it's like,
I hate that.
right. Can't like now me being extroverted, me thriving off, you know, other people's energy and blah, 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 you know, those interactions. What if I just need a day? I can't always be that high energy person.
Is it selfish of them to expect that of you?
Yeah.
I think
Quick.
subconsciously,
100%.
because I don't think it's like every office has that one person that walks in hey, good morning. Hey, you know, high energy. Right. And
Shout out Heather.
Right. Heather. See, and people like, you don't realize it, but you look forward to those interactions. You get what I'm saying? Well, you might not. You don't fucking like people, but
I love people. It's
But-
misconstrued.
sure. But the average human, like the other 99%, that's not Spencer, right? So it's like those things make your day go, right? So then that one day that Heather,
That makes you feel better
what?
when people come in and like greet you. And say
I'm
what
the
up?
person that comes in and greets. I'm Heather.
Oh, and that makes everyone else's day better.
Right.
Do you know that for sure?
Yeah.
It makes everyone else's day better.
The people that I greet, when I don't greet them, it's like, damn,
So what about the people you don't greet? You think they feel some type?
I don't know them or care about them.
They haven't been blessed, so they can't. Feel
Right.
some type.
You can't don't save her. She don't want to be saved. You cannot feel the absence of something you don't know how it feels or you don't know you need.
Ooh, kind of like if a tree falls in a forest, does it make a noise?
You don't know. You don't know what you don't know, and you don't know that you need something because you've never actually experienced it.
Ooh, and that is the beauty of partnership in the relationship. The beauty of someone who lived a completely different life, completely different experiences, bringing things to the table just by being themselves that you can appreciate. Like, wow, I never knew that could be a thing. I never knew someone would think that way. That's a totally interesting way of thinking. That's a totally interesting way of being. That, I think, is what's cool about meeting people and being in relationships. But it's not their responsibility to show me.
So I have a question to ask, and this kind of changes gears. Holy shit. Yo, what number is that right there? Is that 2 million?
200,000.
200,000. Okay. So an article came out on December 1st that Kanye West is paying $200,000 a month in child support.
Whole lot.
Okay. Like, he deserves that, or?
Bro, that's the shitty system that we have. Like,
Okay.
I think I understand why child support's a thing, but y'all are doing a lot. Like, Kim don't need his money. Like, Kim don't need shit.
Kim doesn't need his money, and I would be saying this if this was anybody.
Yeah.
I'm not just saying it because it's Kim K and Kanye West, right? Yes, I agree that some folk should get, paid child support, right? But is it selfish, right, to say, I need all of your money, or I need all this money to now support these children? You get what I'm saying? Because there's no way on God's green earth that $200,000 is going to those kids.
Is it a month?
A month.
Yeah. So
So is it selfish for a parent? And again, I'm not in this situation. I was a child that parents dealt with child support, right? But I've not yet had to deal with this, right? So it's like, is it selfish to say, like, hey, I'm going to take from another person's pocket, and I don't understand how that money is actually going to support those children.
So I think, and we're talking about Kim and Kanye, like,
Right.
where money really isn't like, they don't have to worry about these things. But I think in different situations where, there's situations where dudes really don't want to take care of their kids. And that's necessary because, like, it's hard being a single anything and taking care of a child, nonetheless children, by yourself, unless you're already making, like, buku money. So it's like, yeah, we brought this child into the world, and that's a different topic we can go on a tangent on. It's like we have a responsibility to this child who knows, like, has no responsibility to anything else other than to be a child and grow up. So yeah, sometimes that's the case. In Kim and Kanye's case, it's like that's just like probably an extra dig. Like, yeah, fuck you, nigga. Like, give me this chump change, because that's literally chump change to them.
No, right, but
I'm surprised she even asked him for child support.
It's just to be petty.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's like, how is it selfish? Like, how do we know for sure that money's going to the kids? And not even just in the Kanye situation. I'm talking in general.
It doesn't always. It's not about going to the kids. It's about all of the expenses that come with being a parent. That could be driving and the gas to get to their games.
So let me ask you a question.
It's just for sustaining.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm paying you for sustaining, right? Bullshit, right? If I give
in that
you
situation, yeah.
If I give you $500 child support, right? You take $100 to go get your hair done. Justified or no?
Ooh, I could justify this. Are you going to be, first of all, you go take $200 to get your hair done. Does your job require you to be in front of people? Because that job requires you to be in front of people, which then is going to put food on the plate for those kids. So yes. Are you going to be in public at, their games? No one wants their, like, the mother of their children or, like, their mom in the crowd looking baggy, like, looking crazy.
So let me stop you.
Yeah.
Right? Those soccer fees, right? Say are $300.
Okay.
If I give you $5, right?
Yeah.
You could use $3 of that towards the fees. You have $200 left over, right? Now you're using your own money to go get your hair done. You get what I'm saying? If I give you $500 right?
But if it's 300, why'd you give her 5?
Well, no. I have to give you 500
Oh,
for child support.
okay.
Yeah, I'm just playing with the number. You would have 200 left over.
Yeah.
Right? It's not, hey, here's $500 for you to go do whatever the fuck you want, right? Use your money for yourself and use this money for the kids. That money could go towards groceries. That money could go towards clothes for them. I thought you were going to say something.
No, I was waiting till you.
But you get what I'm saying? And I guess on the flip side of that, you could say like, oh, what's the difference between using my money, your money? It is child support.
But it's like, the thing is, this is sanctioned by the state. So it's like, regardless, bro, you got to give up that money, period.
Right. So which ties
So
it,
what she does with it, to be honest, is none of your concern anymore.
which ties it back to them being selfish.
Is it selfish? It
Or-
could be in some situations, but again, like, I know more situations like people in our demographic where shit, like, people need that money. Like, people count on that money to really just make ends meet, because that $500 could just go straight to rent if she wanted to. You got to keep
and that would be realistic.
But like, her getting her hair done with that 200 would piss you off.
It would. This isn't you support.
It is, though.
My
You
money-
you're supporting her to support your child. That's all that is.
Yeah.
It's but here's my thing. I don't actually give a fuck about what you look like. I'm not with you no more.
But the
And-
state
and-
said
and
500.
here's- right. No,
but it's not
right.
about what you think about how you feel.
So
about
would that
what
make
they
me
look
selfish?
Like. In a sense, like, you are being a little bit selfish, because you're like, well, if that's what my money is going towards, then like, I don't want to do that anymore. But it's like, just because you and the mother of your kids don't agree anymore, like, you got to always be selfless and think about, this money is going to support my children, however it's being supported for my children. And if you feel like, and if any person really feels like the person who's in custody of your kids aren't doing that, then how about you try then, like, taking that person to court and be like, hey, like, I've been giving this person child support money and they're actually not even using this to take care of my kids, because my kids still look like this, or my kids are still not, like, getting this. Therefore, like, I want to take my kids back and raise them properly and make sure that they're being fully sustained and supported. But how many of those scenarios actually happen?
See, but even to that point, I agree with what you said. But even then, the courts always support women more than they do men, even if the man does want to be present and try.
Yeah, I'm a strong believer in hold that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just gotta, some decisions, you just gotta, and repercussions, you just gotta deal with.
Take the L.
You gotta take the L, and like, is between hold that and make more money. Like, it sucks,
Make more money,
bro. It sucks.
But yeah, the system is really, like, not good.
Yeah,
the
like,
system is so, like, just overall, the best way to say it is just very shitty.
you took one of the biggest L's in our society financially, and now it's like, what do we do now? Like,
Right.
you can either be mad for 18 years, or you can show your kids, like, yeah, like, I pay your mom $1,500 a month happily, and I'm still doing my thing over here, and you're still having a great time when you come see me. That's the best bounce back. But like, that, in that sense, be selfish and petty. I love that.
Not selfish and petty.
Hey, that's a best of both words,
Doesn't
baby.
the court also decide the, like, actual amount? Like, you just
Yeah.
you, like, fill out the paperwork to say, like, they're not supporting me in this, this, and this, and then, like, together they look at, like, your income, their income, and then they decide, like, what would be, like,
There's a certain percentage.
a certain, like, justified number to say, like, okay, you have to give them this amount every month. And if you document to Uncle Sam, like, this is where you working and this is how much you making, they will expeditiously just take that out your check without even you having to say something.
It's like garnished. Like, yeah,
Yeah, they
once
just say
you don't
yeet.
even see it.
you get to another job, they're like, but they'll show you that they took it.
Yeah, but you don't have a say of when they can take it,
I used to hurt.
how quickly they can take it. They just be jink.
I used to feel so bad for my boy, but like, my boy, great father, like, literally against all odds, he always makes it happen for his kids, but he had to pay child support, and like, they used to do his checks dirty, and I'm like, how are you supposed to live with the rest of this?
Bro,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure one of my cousins, his kid lives up here. My cousin lives in another state. He has to pay child support in both states.
See, it's like, bro, you gotta.
Wow.
And there's way more to the story, but
Yeah.
That is-
See, that's why, like, people in our demographic, I understand why you choose different trades so that you can just get money however you can. Because, bruh,
Right.
the system, like, once, and you know, it's crazy. Majority of child support matters are, I forgot. It's in, like, wages, like, 40,000 and under. Like, yeah, there's, like, a certain percentage of, like, the majority of child support, whatever, being done. Yeah, it's nuts. And you gotta think, you're already making 40 grand, like, and you taking however much you can.
Right, that's already like you're living below the poverty line.
Yeah, like, I gotta
That's
sell
what you really
drugs.
sell.
well, on that note, we were gonna wrap it up. This has been another
Yes,
great episode.
Wrap it up, everyone. That's the moral of the
How to
story.
Get Her podcast
Wrap it up.
is emphasizing please support your kids.
Yeah,
or
and
wrap
safe
it up.
sex. Safe sex is great sex. You better want that latex. You don't want that latex that I think I'm latex.
No
Damn, who said
glove,
that?
No love.
Did you see the interview where he didn't know he said that?
That's how he laughs.
Bro, poor little man.
Yo, this was another great, dope fucking episode, man. I don't know if this is the end of the year, the beginning of the year, but yo, we fucking sick with this shit.
Plow, plow, plow. Facts. So to wrap it up, quick 15 seconds of fame. I would say we should start focusing on what we're passionate about. You know, search inward, do some recalibration, and figure out, you know, is my next step really going to be my best step? And is it good for me overall? Not just good for my mental, not just good for my physical, not just good for right now. Is this going to be good for the long term? And post that shit. Go into the new year flexing because you bout that life. Pew, pew, pew.
Yeah. Guys, like, comment, share,
And ladies.
follow, ladies, gentlemen, unicorns, whatever the fuck you guys identify as. Like, follow, share, comment, tell your friends. We're slowly on the up and up, and you guys don't want to miss out. My 15 seconds of fame is pull out, and that's a wrap.
Pull out game super